Well, hello everybody. Jeff Cowan here from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk. You know, the guy that's trained more successful service advisors than anybody else on the planet. It's a fact, and you can check it out. Well, I'm back here today with a new edition of my podcast entitled Right Service, Write Your Own Paycheck, The Path to Making Over $100,000 a Year. And today I'm excited to be back because I'm going to talk about one of my most requested topics that I get every place I go, and that is closing sales. So I'm going to do like we've been doing with some of our podcasts, and we'll be doing here in the future, where I take one of my quotes and then I'll break it down for you. And I want you to read along with this one because it's kind of a long one here. So let's just jump into it. Closing sales, right? Okay, so you cannot learn to close sales by reading books, listening to a recording, or watching a video or attending a seminar. The only way you ever truly learn how to close a sale is to take the information you get from those activities, memorize the words, and then step in front of a customer with your paycheck on the line and ask for their business. It's that way, and the only way that you ever really truly learn how to close a sale. So let me break that down for you and tell you what I mean. I've got 4 different things. Closing sales, learning to close sales. Number 1, I'm going to repeat myself. No one can really teach you how to close sales. It's just like I said a second ago. You have to learn the words and step in front of a customer with your paycheck on the line before you really ever understand what closing is all about. And I got to tell you this. I speak at hundreds of conventions and all kinds of events, and typically when you do that, you're on stage with a bunch of other speakers and the like, and they hate it when I tell my audiences what I just told you. Because, see, they want you to believe that they can teach you how to close if you just sit and listen to them for an hour or so. And I can tell you it's the same thing in my workshops. This is the reason I put so much time into this. My workshops, people will come and they'll say, you're going to talk about closing, you're going to talk about closing, you're going to teach us how to close, right? Well, yeah, in our process alone, we've got over 300 different ways to ask for the money, but they always ask it in such a way that they believe that by simply sitting in a room with me for 2 days, that they're going to walk out of that room and be master closers. It doesn't work that way. Again, you can learn the words and stuff, but the only way you ever truly learn how to close a sale is to step in front of a customer with your paycheck on the line. So what do we do about that? Number 2, you have to find the words. Now, whether you find those words, again, on a video, a podcast, audio recording, or you read a book, and by the way, the best book I've ever read on closing was written by my favorite guy, Zig Ziglar, The 100 Secrets to Closing the Sale. Now, don't let that copyright fool you, because that book came out over 35 years ago, but it is as accurate today as it was the first day that he put it out, so that's a great book. But in that book, and along with many, many other speakers, and including myself who are master closers, we believe that you need to know at least 100 different ways to ask for the money. That's the reason that 100 is there. 100 different ways. 100 closes. And you don't stop there, you go from there. But why 100? Well, here's why. First and foremost, most service advisors only know 3 ways to ask for the money. 3 ways. Now, there's a big problem with that because in the afternoon, where the biggest sales are on the telephone call, they're typically closed on the 4th attempt. So if you only know 3 closes, where does that leave you? Not closing sales. Okay, Jeff, so couldn't I just learn 4 closes, 5 closes would be enough? No, you have to know 100 or more. Why? Because when you start to study closing, you're going to quickly realize that the close you choose to use is based on the product, the timing, where you are, and most importantly, the personality. What will work with one personality may not work with another. So the more closes you know, the more successful you're going to be. Once you find the words, practice the words. Now notice here I'm going to say something I've not said, I don't think, in a past podcast of mine, and that is you have to internalize the words. It's not enough just to memorize them and be able to say them. You have to internalize them. So what do I mean? You have to get to a point where you know these closes so well that when a situation or a personality is in front of you, these words just come out and you don't even know where they're coming from because you've internalized them to that level. That's what I'm talking. If you want to be a master closer, that's what you have to do. But you have to practice, 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 practice. Once you do that, here's the most important part. You ready? Number 4, just like it says, you have to use the words. It just cracks me up. You know, have people come to our workshops, we'll show them a bunch of closes, and then maybe their business is contracted with us to come out and stand with them on the service drive and show them how to implement this stuff. And you'll give the people the words, and they won't use them. You know, and they expect their closing increase, but they won't use them. You have to use the words. And so when I research this and find out why people are so nervous about some of these closes, is because they confuse what closing is all about. They think, boy, if I ask a customer more than 2 or 3 times, you know, then I'm pushing them, I'm twisting their arms, I'm beating them up. And you're going to find that's not true. If you truly master the art of closing, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I can tell you this because people ask me, Jeff, how many times should I attempt to close somebody? Well, I can tell you that there's been many times in many presentations. We're halfway through the presentation. I knew that if I asked for the money right now, I would get nothing. So I didn't ask for it and maybe waited till later. But for every time that happened, there are at least 7 to 1. I've asked a customer not only once, but maybe 3 times, 5 times, 7 times before they said yes. And then they only said yes in the morning, but they said yes to everything I offered in the afternoon, and then came back to pick up their vehicle, shook my hand and said, thank you for talking me through this and spending all the time you did with me. They don't see it as me trying to close them as much as it is I'm trying to advise them and consult them. Okay? It's never about pushing. It's never about twisting arms and selling them stuff they don't need. It's about knowing who you're in front of, what the product is, and having at least 100 different ways to ask for that sale the right way. That's what we're talking about here. So again, to recap, nobody can really teach you how to sell, how to close sales. I mean, they can teach the words, but the only way, again, that you learn how to close sales is you learn the words and you step in front of a customer with your paycheck on the line, you ask the question, and you pay attention to their responses. What are they saying, how they acted? You have to find the words, you decide where you want to find them. You not only practice, but internalize the words, and then, of course, you have to use the words. Hey, I'm at the end of this now, so I just want to remind you that at Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk, we love service departments. And you know what we like about them? We love working in them. And we can do all these things. Can you believe that? And if you want to find out how well we do that, because I can tell you right now, I'll give you a hint, we do it better than anybody else. You just call us at 1-800-248-2931, 1-800-248-2931, and anybody that picks up that phone can share with you how we do, what we do, and why we're so good at it, because nobody gets better results than us. Or you can go to automotiveservicetraining.com, automotiveservicetraining.com, and get all the information that you need there. Hey, this is Jeff Cowan from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk signing off. I want you to have a great week. I will be back next week and the week after that and the week after that with another new podcast. And until then, God bless you all. See you soon. Have a great week. Take care.